One of the biggest mistakes I see travelers make when booking a cruise is choosing the wrong months for where they want to sail. As a travel advisor and registered nurse, I'm going to show you exactly where to sail and when, because I don't want you to end up like a friend of mine who booked a Caribbean sailing. It ended up somewhere completely different. The month you choose to cruise can change your entire cruise experience. So let's start with talking about one of the most popular cruise destinations, the Caribbean. When most people picture the Caribbean, they imagine beautiful beaches, crystal clear water, warm sunshine, relaxing days exploring tropical islands. And when you choose the right time, it can absolutely be an amazing vacation. But one thing I do talk to my clients about is hurricane season, especially August through September. Now, does that mean you can't cruise the Caribbean during those months? Absolutely not. Many cruisers cruise during that time and have great experiences. But you need to understand what can actually happen. Hurricane season doesn't mean the hurricane directly hitting your ship. It can mean itinerary changes, like my friends who were sailing to the Caribbean and ended up back in Canada at actually one of their home ports, St. John, New Brunswick. It can mean canceled excursions, canceled ports due to winds and waves, and rougher seas, which can cause more seasickness. Now, some travelers would actually love this surprise, but if you've saved and planned for the Caribbean cruise, this may not be what you're hoping for. That's why I always tell my clients, don't only look to where the cruise is going, look when it's sailing there. For the Caribbean, I generally recommend between December and April. You're going to have better weather, warmer temperatures, lower chance of hurricane, and you're going to have a better chance of having the classic Caribbean experience. But if you are from further north, be sure to be mindful of the snowstorms and flight cancellations, so be sure to have travel insurance. Now, weather is one thing that can affect your cruise, but this next mistake is something where the weather's actually beautiful and your cruise can actually still be completely different than what you expected. And that comes down to crowds. So let's talk about the Mediterranean. A Mediterranean cruise is a bucket list vacation for so many people. Sailing to Italy, Greece, Croatia, these beautiful places that sound so incredible. But July and August can create a completely different experience. And the problem? Crowds. Many travelers don't realize that when they arrive at a popular port, they're not the only ship there. You may have thousands of cruise passengers arriving at the same destination on the same day. Now add extreme heat, long lines, busy attractions, and limited shade. When I help clients plan a Mediterranean cruise, I often suggest the shoulder season, which is May, June, and September. You still get great weather, but you're going to have less crowd, so it's a better experience. Now I know choosing the right month for the right destination can feel overwhelming. That's why I've created a free destination guide, I'll link in the description below, and it's going to break down the best months to visit the most popular cruise ports so you can feel confident in your next sailing. Now, this next destination is not booked for its beaches. It's booked for one unforgettable reason: the scenery. And if you book the wrong month for this destination, your experience can be completely different. Let's talk Alaska. Alaska is one of the most incredible experiences. People book Alaska because they want glaciers, wildlife, scenery, and northern lights. But to get those unforgettable views, timing matters. And I see cruisers make the same mistake and not understand how much the different seasons can impact your entire experience. Later in the season, the weather changes, it's less predictable, the wildlife patterns change, and the days become shorter. And Alaska is an outdoor experience. Your balcony views, your excursions, your wildlife, your scenery, all of those are connected to what you're able to see. For most travelers, early June to September are great times. Earlier in the season, you're going to see more wildlife and whales, and later in the season, you'll have a better experience with the northern lights. Now, I'm Canadian, and I want to talk about one of the cruise destinations that I think is actually overlooked. And honestly, it's one of my favorites because it's near and dear to my heart, and it offers a completely different experience. We're going to talk about Canada and New England. Now, this itinerary is all about coastal towns, history, beautiful scenery, and of course, the fall colors. This is one of the main reasons people book this itinerary. It's to see the red, orange, and gold colors along the coastline. But again, the biggest mistake I see people make is not understanding how important the season is. If you go too early, you'll see a lot of green. If you go too late, you'll miss the peak moment. When I help clients plan this cruise, I often recommend late September, early October. And as someone from Canada, I can tell you, there's something really special about seeing those coastal towns and changing leaf colors from the water. It's a completely different experience than your regular tropical vacation. Now let's talk about a destination that your timing really matters unless you were looking to have a party. Let's talk Mexico. Mexico cruises are popular because they are affordable, convenient, and accessible for many cruisers. But there's two things you need to know. The first is hurricane season. Between August and September, it can bring weather changes, itinerary changes, and hot and humid conditions. The second, people don't always think about, it's spring break. Depending on the sailing, March and April can bring you a completely different experience on board. For Mexico, most travelers prefer between November and March because the temperatures are great and the sailings are a bit quieter. When you're planning your next cruise, don't only think about the cheapest option. Think about what you actually want on your cruise. For the Caribbean, consider December to April. For the Mediterranean, consider shoulder season, like May, June, and September. For Alaska, June through early September is a great window. For Canada and New England, late September, early October is great for your fall colors. For Mexico, consider cooler months and understand how seasonal events can affect your experience. Wrong ship at the wrong time means a completely different experience. Also, if you haven't done so already, pick up my free cruise destination guide in the links below. It will tell you exactly which months are the best times to visit the most popular ports. And let me know in the comments, do you know how to stay healthy on a cruise? I'll link this next video up here. I'm Ashley Neal. I'll see you next time.